All right, you're good to go.
Okay.
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're all set, Sherry.
Okay. Before we get into this meeting, and I know you've told me this before, but I forgot, and my husband is bugging me. What is going to go in the old Friendly's place? I told him it was like apartments or something, but
Yeah, lots of apartments, about 70 or so.
ooh,
70, 71 or 77. I can't
okay.
remember exactly which one.
Is it going to be storefronts on the bottom, like on the other
First floor is
street?
supposed to be all commercial.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see how that goes. It's better than an empty lot, I suppose.
Probably going to
It's
be
been
a
a
lot of groundwater.
heavily debated subject.
I'm sure. But he's going ahead with it, right? That's just the way it is.
Well, I'm going to stop up and see the building inspector tomorrow to see if he ever got his building permit. But last I knew, he had a demolition permit. Um, we didn't hold him up on the Friendly's building. Oh, excuse me. What was this? Oh, doctor's office. I got to take this. I'll be right with
Okay.
you. Hello.
Timing's everything, isn't it?
Yeah. Good thing we can't hear him. It would have been awkward.
I'm sure that's why I walked away. I hope it's not bad news. You know, it's never good when they call.
That's right. Yeah. No news is good news.
And we haven't heard anything about the big yellow building that, was supposedly rush, and now nothing's going on with that.
That's the one we visited, right?
Yes. There's been no change because I was just up dropping stuff at Salvation Army and it looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Last I heard, they weren't letting that guy do what he wanted to do.
Well, could he downsize the project? Would it be worth it?
That's the $1 million question.
Oh, I mean, he bought it, so it's not like you can walk away.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd know all this before he invested that kind of money. I'd know.
Yeah. And I'm worried about the Friendly apartments. I don't think our water system can handle it.
I know that's what David keeps saying, but drive around town and um on when you cross over 18, there's a new development. David said I think it's only going to be 4 or 5, but it's 4 or 5 here and 4 or 5 more there. On 18, they're building. That's all water.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it all depends on who you talk to. You talk to Mr. Ruley. Yeah, we got water. You talk to the water superintendent, the new one, and he gives you about a 20-minute oration on, well, we got to do this and we got to do that, and then we'll have water for this and that. And how long? Well, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, 20 million, 50 million, 100 million.
Huh.
They just go on and on and on. But what's going to boil down to is Steve's going to, the building inspector is holding him up for a signature on the building permit. That's one of the things that's required when you get a building permit. You have to have water, access to water, whether it be a well or a public water supply. And so far, that hasn't. Nobody's willing to put their name on the line to say that. But he must be confident because he did get the demolition permit and he did demolish the building. And I didn't make a big thing out of it, but we could have held him up for 6 months waiting for his demolition delay on the Friendly's building because it did fall into the criteria, I think. So, but anyways, it's gone. He's on his way. And then the bowling alley is sitting there, and that's another dilemma.
He
So what
owns
they're
that
gonna do.
also, doesn't he?
Yeah, he owns that, but he doesn't own any more parking. So all of the vacant space around his apartment houses is going to be taken up tenant spaces. So there is absolutely no parking left for the bowling alley. So he's saying that both him and Ruley saying, well, Ruley rewrote the bylaws so that the bylaws says that as long as you can find parking within 500 feet of a project, you can get a building permit. Well, the 3 restaurants that have been in there since the bowling alley closed have all failed. And one of the major reasons was that they couldn't find parking. They had parking across the street, but nobody wanted to park across the street and cross 18 to get in there sober. And then after you have a couple of drinks and then coming out, one girl did get killed there.
Oh my God.
In front of the restaurant. She got hit, and young lady. And so who knows what goes on the mind of developers. And even if he does get the permit, we all know what that place looks like between 8 and 10 in the morning and 3 and 6 at night. It's backed up over the tracks and backed up through the center of town. So it's a mess.
I wouldn't want to be a tenant.
No, well, those are supposed to be high-end tenants.
Oh yeah, they're going to put up with that, right?
Yeah. They're gonna pay $3,000 plus a month rent to they have to fight to get in and out of your parking space. That makes sense.
Oh well.
But Mr. Cormier, he's a man of Bridgewater. He knows. He's building a quality project that's going to look better than the vacant lot, and probably will. But how successful he's going to be, only time will tell. So
interesting times.
Yep, they are. That's for sure. I really don't have anything new this week, other than I am pursuing the stone monument up at Sturtevant's Pond. I've got a request in for a quote on a price. I was kind of hoping Carlton would be here tonight because I wanted to ask him about the procedure. So I guess I'm going to have to go through Ask Gina, because I thought they implied to me that there was some money available through CPC to put towards that plaque. But either way, I'm hoping to get it on the ground in April, which would be the 250th anniversary of the declaration of the Committee on Public Safety, Colonial Committee on Public Safety, to establish the state furnace at that site. So still haven't found a home for that gravestone. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Can't. So, and let's see. We still don't have an archivist in town, but there's two stories that are on file. I believe there were. I believe I gave them copies. If not, I have them here. One is a story written by a gentleman who lived down at the prison, and he wrote up his story of his childhood from probably 1910 through 1935, and it's really interesting reading. I've enjoyed it, and I talked with his son who helped him with it. And his son copyrighted it, so I can't just go ahead and publish it, but reprint it and pass it around. And he doesn't seem to have any interest in doing it, and he'll probably end up passing away before he grants permission. So I don't know what's going to come of it, but I would really like to get that in circulation. And then there's another story that was written by a gentleman in the late 1800s. and he writes about his adventures bicycling. Bicycles were becoming very popular around that time, and he belonged to some of the bicycle clubs and riding all over the South Shore and around Bridgewater with his bicycle and his group. And I'd love to see those in print so people can enjoy them, because they're really neat stories. I think one's on discs, and the other one I've just I've got a PDF file on my computer, which I just scanned all the pages in. So really need somebody to go through and type them up and edit them. But I don't know what the procedure is as far as getting these stories out to people. So
Should I post them on the Facebook page?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The bicycle story, I believe, is on a half a dozen CDs. And the other story we could post as a PDF, I suppose. I don't know what kind of trouble we could get into by putting a copyrighted story on Facebook, because anybody could copy it.
You can watermark any pictures, or you can just credit the author, put a source there.
Yeah, that's an idea. I never thought of doing that, putting it on the Facebook page. That would be pretty neat. It's a pretty big document. I think it's about 75 pages.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. But he talks about everything. Seeing his first car coming down Summer Street, seeing his first airplane land on the State Farm field, the draft and the impact it made for World War I, and the impact it made on the young men in town.
Nice. Maybe we
like
can
that.
make a thing out of it and just do it in parts. Doesn't have to
Yeah.
be all at once.
Well, I'll send you a copy of it.
Okay.
And see what you think would be the best way to put it together.
Mm.
I've often wanted to put pictures in it, because the guy did give me a map that he and his father drew that shows all of the things, where all of the things were. There was a farm that he used to spend a lot of time on down the street from the prison. There was an Indian who lived in the woods in a tent, a hut or something, an old Indian. I've often thought of trying to find it, because he's got a pretty good description on where it was. It was located in between Titicut Street, Summer Street, the railroad tracks, and the river, kind of in the center of that square. And I stopped in to see Mr. Politano, who lives. He's one of the few people. I think he's the only guy that still owns a house down there. But unfortunately, they were having a yard sale. I stopped in at the yard sale, and he had passed away a couple of years ago. And I don't know what his wife's going to do with the house. She was cleaning it all out. So, but I was going to ask permission. Can I go out in your woods now that the leaves are off the trees, and see if we can find the location where that tent site might have been. The best I could find would probably be a fire ring near a brook.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be about it. But no, it's just a couple stories. Old Bridgewater.
David, were they ever printed as books?
No,
No.
no, they've never done.
It's too bad.
Yeah, it's a shame to let them waste away, because the stories of Old Bridgewater, and it's pretty neat. So, well, when I send it over to Jeff, I'll send it over to you, Sherry, and you
Okay.
can take a look at it. The bicycle one, I got to dig it out and figure out how I can get that all on on a thumb drive or something, compress it all.
Yeah. Yeah, thumb drive would be good.
Since I looked at it. Yeah, there's a lot of those stories floating around. Edward Toole wrote a lot, and Toole.
Are we all frozen?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was just David.
Seems like it.
We'll wait for him to reboot.
You're muted, Dave.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, I just lost my picture for some reason.
Yeah, it froze.
Yeah. Did you folks see the write up on the last meeting?
No. Our meeting?
It was on the internet. Now, I gotta look it up. Maybe I can do it when I'm right here.
Was it on the town website?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
It's a private entity, and he's I don't even remember what he goes under. Something like South Shore News or something, and it's free. And he's writing about every town stories, and he just recently he did one on the town council meeting the other night. Pretty in depth write up, and I was wondering who the hell is writing this stuff up. It's a lot of work. I don't know if he's able to do it from. Yep. South Shore News.
Oh.
A local news. And this particular one I just brought up is the Hanson Selectmen Board holds a uniform tax rate, but quite a bit of detail. I'll forward this to you folks. Josh was just asking me about it. Well, I asked him if he knew who was writing it up, and he said he didn't, and he wanted me to ship it over to him because he wasn't aware of it. But he asked me about who's taking minutes for your meetings. And I said, well, nobody's taking the minutes right now. But if you'd like to see this stuff that this guy's writing up, I think they're better than any minutes that we would take.
Why don't we invite him to the meeting?
Yeah, well, he's part of the meeting somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, I just forwarded to you the article on all the surrounding towns and Rainham also.
Yeah, I got it.
I got the Hanson Select Board holds uniform tax rate.
That would get us into the site, wouldn't it?
Is this where? Oh, that's the South Shore News guy? You're muted, David.
I wonder if he froze again.
It appears to be pretty accurate. It's not biased. It doesn't appear to be biased, but I could be wrong. So, anyways, we'll have to wait and see what he comes up with for this meeting. I don't know how he's getting his information, but
What is this one just about Hanson?
That one's just about Hanson, but on that page, I thought there was an icon to subscribe. Justin, yeah, that's it, Justin. Says share. I don't know. Well,
he's got a pretty nice format.
Subscribed. Yeah.
Easy to read, straight to the point.
Yeah, down at the bottom of the page it says subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work. So it looks good.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Goodwill.
Now, if I can get back to the Zoom meeting. I think the next meeting for the CPC is it's like the second week in December. So I'll have to get a hold of Gina and find out about that.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of missed that group.
And that's about it.
Okay.
I sent an email to the guy out in Michigan the other day to see how he's coming with his book on iron manufacturing, Michigan Mining Technical College, and then I'm waiting to hear from. There's a lady who lives in Texas. She grew up in Bridgewater, and she's putting together her father's memoirs. And he had close to 30 years with the Army, Air Force, and the regular Air Force. He flew in Vietnam, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Ooh.
So that should be a pretty neat story. So that was one of the Hathaway lived up on Pine Street, anyways, in the beginning. So a lot of people from Bridgewater writing stories. Just got to get them all out in print.
Yep.
David, whatever happened to that oral history you were doing?
Whatever happened to that? Never did any more. I've got a couple that were recorded. I've got 4 that were recorded. But I kind of, I don't know whether I lost interest in it or I didn't get enough people who were interested in working on it with me, or I didn't pursue it. But it's a great project. It's it'd be neat if we could get somebody going on it again. Just a matter of the senior center wanted to do, but they haven't. They had me do one on trolleys, but I said, let's get the members of the senior center talking about this stuff. And they say, yeah, sounds like a great idea. But Maddie never seemed to, I guess she's got a whole bunch of other things going, and it never materialized. But it would be good. No doubt about it.
What can we do with what
Not that
you
I'm,
have?
well, they should be on file down at the library at the very
Oh, okay.
least. I don't know what kind of a format. I'd have to talk to Jed about how they could do it, because at the time I gave them to Mary O'Connell on CDs. Well, nobody does CDs anymore. They're all on thumb drive. So I could probably put them on thumb drive and get them down there. But without an archivist I had talked to the last one, Karen Urbeck, about it, and she was all excited about doing something with them. But then she left, and there's been nobody to replace her. So, and just about anything the town has come up with as far as archival storage on computer all ends up over at the college, because town server doesn't have enough capacity. And you know how things are with the town, people cutting things left and right. So I'm not real optimistic about finding. And Josh was talking to me about we're going to be asked on the needs of the historical commission, and that will be one of the items. It's always been one of them. So your internet connection is unstable. You folks still there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, just got a little warning on my screen. I don't know, a couple of months before budget time. So we'll see what happens.
What internet do you have, David?
I went to forum the other night, and I just didn't want to ruffle the waters too much. I talked about the and they're about to be stored for the winter.
David, you keep freezing up.
Yeah, well, that's I keep seeing. Oh, Janet Hansen is in the waiting room. If I freeze up or fade away, let me know. Janet,
Okay.
welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, Janet.
I was thinking the meeting was 6:30 and all of a sudden I noticed, I went, oh shoot.
Well, we're still here. You got anything special you want to talk about?
No, I just was listening to I was interested about the headstone and whatever else you had to say. And
Well,
this is
did we lose you?
Janet Hansen, Pleasant Street, in case you need that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I missed, but apologize.
Well, we what you
David's having trouble with his computer freezing up.
Yeah, this has been happening.
All right, so it's not me. Okay.
No.
All right.
I wonder if he has Comcast,
I don't know.
because I was having trouble upstairs with the connection, and I got this thing called a pod, and you basically just plug it into the wall and it connects to your Wi-Fi and makes the signal stronger. Like in a whole new area.
Can you just get those over the counter?
Yeah, I don't know what the connection is. So
Yeah,
if
you paid
anybody's
it
got
again.
any ideas on how we can find a home for this gravestone, and I'd stick it down to the South Street Cemetery, but the date of the death was 1820, and the cemetery didn't get started until 1822.
Oh,
So I checked with Carol Chafee the other day, but she used to work at the North Middleborough Congregational Church, and I asked her if she ever had any connections with records of their cemetery or how far their records went back, and she really wasn't able to give me any information to go on. But most likely not. If they have their own cemetery right next to the church, it's not likely that a person would be interred in a little further down the road.
How did you
Although,
get this stone, this headstone?
the lady's name was Alida Bazanson. She lives on the corner of Summer and Covington. And I ran into her at the senior center. Now, this lady's about 4'6". She's probably in her mid 80s. And she said, David, I have something for you. I want to give it to you. So I said, where is it? She said, oh, it's out in my car. I'll go get it. I said, what is it? She says, it's a gravestone. I said, no, Alida, I'll come out and get it. So I went out and she had it in her car, and she got it from the lady who sold the house. We've had some dealings with the house on the corner of Clarence Ave in Summer, the beautiful colonial that was restored. It was found in that house, and the lady who sold the house gave it to Alida, hoping that she could find a home for it. And so she's had it for a couple of years, and she didn't know where to go with it, so she asked me, and now I got it, and I don't know where to go with it. So it's a beautiful little slate gravestone in excellent condition. So
that cemetery you mentioned first could be a good spot. That stone, it's certainly possible that stone was made like way after the death.
Yeah, it could very well have been, but I looked it up in the epitaphs of Old Bridgewater, and then I went up and checked the gravestone. They're up there. There is a I can't remember the last name, but there's the family name. There is two stones up there from a husband and wife, and interesting enough, it's the wife's name is the same name as this little girl.
Okay.
But she passed away in the 1870s. She lived to be a quite older person.
Could this have been their daughter and they just never got the stone on, or some, or
Could
who
have
lived
been,
in the
but
house that the stone was
there's
on?
no record. There's no record of the death in the town records, though. That's the thing. So I don't know how common that is, that you'd have a stone made for somebody where there was no record of their death, of their passing.
What was the age on the stone? How old is the person?
1820.
No, but I mean, like, did it have a date of birth and a date of death on it?
Of the older woman?
No, of the stone that you have.
Okay. She was, I believe she was less than 2 years old.
oh,
So it is
Now-
possible that it was a child of the same name as the mother. But
no record of them having a
I
baby.
just can't connect it to the stone.
David,
There is a space next to. But
if you die out of town, say the child was taken to Boston and passed away there, would Bridgewater ever record that?
only if I would guess I don't know for sure if I asked the town clerk, but I would guess that only interred back in Bridgewater. The body was brought back.
That's likely. What is the name? Is it unique? Is it a unique name, common name?
I
Oh,
think
Heathrow.
Boston.
Yeah.
Back again. I'm muted again.
Welcome back.
Uh,
What's the
Chip,
name of the child?
wait a minute. Let me look it up. Got it on my phone.
I wonder how it got in that other house to begin with.
Yeah.
Did somebody steal
Yes.
it? Did somebody leave it? Who owned? Like interesting to know what the previous people that own the house. How far back does it go
Uh,
on the deeds?
The-
Who owned the house
the
before?
Burrell family had been in that house for well over 100 years.
Hmm.
Okay, now the older woman's stone, I've got it on a picture on my phone. Miss Deborah Ripley.
It's not very common.
How do you spell Deborah?
Deborah. No.
And the child's name,
Same thing. Deborah Ripley.
and that was what date to what date?
Let me see if I can find her picture of her stone. I deleted a bunch of pictures on my camera the other day. Oh, there it is. Here's the little girl's stone. Her name is Miss Deborah Ripley, who died October. Can't read the date. Wait a minute.
David, the older woman, when was she born?
Um, I'm going to ship both of these to you because I'm looking at them, and I thought I had read the dates properly, but evidently I didn't, because we're talking about Sherry. Okay, those are on the way to you. The little girl's stone, and I'll take a look, and I will go back. Now, the dates of death on there are in the 1700s. And if I can read them right, that isn't what I have been telling you. I don't know why.
This one's the older woman, right?
The one I just sent you was the child.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to find you the older woman.
Oh, she was 9 months and 10 days.
Yeah, she's just a baby.
Yeah.
What was the date of the baby?
Now, does that say date of birth? 1700?
Well, if she died October 25th, she was 9 months and 10 days. That's February.
What year?
Oh,
Yeah.
1752.
Doesn't give a birthday. How could that be? This cemetery wasn't there. Now I'm trying to find the mother stone or the older person's stone on my camera. October. Okay, here is the other stone I'm going to send to you. Okay, it's on the way. It doesn't have a title on it, but it's coming your way.
Okay.
Yeah, it says she died November 29th, 1794, in the 64th year of her life.
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess I misread the stones, but if she passed away then that cemetery was incorporated in the epitaphs book in 1822.
But she's residing in that cemetery as we speak?
Yeah.
I wonder
This is
if they,
Miss Deborah Ripley.
Hmm.
Wait a minute. Well, what does the kid stone say? Yeah, the kid stone. Kid stone says daughter of Charles and Deborah Ripley,
Yeah.
who died
And it looks like the mother was born,
October.
the older one was born in 1773.
So the older one was born 21 years after the baby died? If the baby died in
Yeah.
1752?
No,
Yeah.
the doesn't it say she died in 1790 something? Baby
I
died
thought
in
you said
17.
Yeah, but I think it says she was 61 when she died. So
the older one,
yeah, the older one.
but the baby was 1752, you said, was the date of death,
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
which is 21 years before the older one died.
And Miss Deborah Ripley died in 1794.
Yeah,
Oh, 94.
if Deborah Ripley was the mother, she would have gave birth to the baby at 19, I think, 19 years old.
Yeah.
So that's possible.
Possible, but that's
Be interesting where they lived. But if she's buried before that cemetery was incorporated, but it doesn't mean somebody can't be buried before it becomes official date, can it?
Well,
Or she
it
could have
might
been
have
moved
been.
from, or she could have been moved from one of the other cemeteries.
Yeah,
Was
that's
she-
what I was thinking the same thing.
She could have been moved, or she could have been buried off-site, and then is there a Ripley next to her in that cemetery, like her husband? Um, and when did he die? But it's possible they might have moved her from wherever she was to be with the rest of the family.
Yeah. I'm pretty convinced that she was the daughter of Deborah Ripley.
Yeah, yeah. Taking a
Be
better look
interesting.
at the graves and everything.
It'd be interesting to see if there's any way of knowing where they used to live. And back then, sometimes people were buried on their property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or they moved her to that cemetery when as you say, South Street, when and other family members died, like her husband. Wonder what, look up Charles Ripley's date of death.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. You said the husband was next to Deborah? They were
I'm
like
looking
together?
at the I've got the epitaphs book open right now, and that has a map, has a plot plan. South Street, 164, 165. We used to have a lady in town who her passion was gravestones, and she recorded everything.
Hmm.
You go right in the entrance to the central entrance to the cemetery, and the stones are about 3 rows in, and they're real close to the central path through the cemetery. Way off on my dates. I don't know how that happened. '87, '86. Well, there it is right there, 80. Okay. Gravestone number 80. Here lies Mrs. Deborah Ripley. She died November 29th, 1794, in the 61st year of her age. Now, there is no record. See, that's gravestone number 80. It's right there.
I just
81.
Googled
81.
while you're looking. I just looked looked up Deborah Ripley, and it says when Deborah Ripley, this is brief life history. When Deborah Ripley was born on 28th of October, 1734 in Bridgewater, Mass. Her father, John Ripley, was 36 and her mother, Deborah Washburn, was 22. She died on November 29th, 1794 at the age of 60 and was buried in Bridgewater, Plymouth, Massachusetts Bay. You know, it doesn't say where, but
Yeah.
um, but that's the brief thing. But you can find her. John Ripley, Deborah Washburn, Deborah Ripley.
Side of a stone is either side of the stone are Haywoods. $62. Keith's. No. And there's a whole poem. It's written on the stone. Just 80 painful years I lived to see this way the term by heaven allotted me. Although my feeble frame was racked with pain, longer I strove to live, but strove in vain. No prayers, nor tears, nor physician's skill can lengthen life beyond God's will. That's what's written on the stone. But I don't see any of the Ripleys anywhere around her. It says Mrs. Deborah Ripley. Well, if it's your daughter, here. How the heck did I get that date of 1820?
Is there Charles Ripley?
Oh, this is one from Brother. This Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for? You're thankful for family, friends. How about God? That's right. Be thankful for God. You see, God made you, He created you, He loves you. You see, the front of my life is such a.
Oh, back again. Did everybody hear the poem I read that was written on the stone?
Yes.
Okay. Before I went
That's on
into
the older woman's stone, right?
Yes. Well, according to the book, it's written on there. Now, where it's written on the stone, I don't know, because if you look at the picture I sent you,
I think it's at the very bottom.
Yeah. Looks like some of it's buried under there.
Some of it might be buried, yeah.
Yeah.
David, what's the name of the cemetery on South Street? Is it the South Street Cemetery?
Well, let me get you the actual name. Keith Orr South Street Graveyard.
That's the one right near the end, that little graveyard.
Yeah, it's not too big. Well, there's 200 people buried in it. Let's see what's near it.
Houses.
Paul Anaki, yeah. Paul Anaki, Walter Zavaruka lived down the street from it. I'm trying to think of any other landmarks near there. There's a street that goes in, I think one house before. There's a street that goes in on the right, one house before the graveyard, and there's a street that goes behind it. And then the street turns 90-degree turn, and it runs parallel to
Well,
South
the
Street.
South Street Cemetery was 1756.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that works with her. Doesn't
Yeah.
work for the child. The child, they probably didn't have that cemetery to bury the child, or the child might have been buried on their property and they made the stone and just never got it
Yeah.
on a grave. Be interesting to know where they used to live.
Yeah. Could probably, there is one map. It's the one that Larry Silver did. But it doesn't. No, it's an earlier map, and it doesn't have a date on it. No, and the only other map is the next one. It's Larry Silver copied the one from 1716, and then the other map, the next one that comes along, is 1830. So people are most likely long gone by then.
David, does the stone of the child look like it's ever been out in the weather?
No, it doesn't. It looks pretty nice. There's no lichen on it, or
Did you say there was a space near Deborah, that maybe
right next to her stone? There is one. There is a space.
No one's listed there.
No, it's just Haywood's around her.
Hmm.
Haywood's around her and in front of her. I'm going to send you folks the plot plan of the cemetery and the page that has the graves around her listed. Okay, that's in the mail, so you can take a look at it. And if you look closely on the plot plan,
Hmm.
give you a second to get it. But it's in the, you go in the main gate in the front, and it's the third row up on the right-hand side. Grave number 80.
When I Google the South Street grave and type in Charles Ripley, there's no such person. If I just go Ripley,
Yeah.
only Ripley is Deborah Ripley. So where's hubby?
I don't know. And then the epitaphs book, there's a alphabetical listing of all the graves there, and there are no other Ripleys.
David, what if we go about it the other way? If we could find deeds on that property and see if there was any Ripley connected to it?
On the cemetery property?
No, the house that where the
Yeah,
gravestone was found.
that's what I was wondering, where
Oh.
the Ripleys live.
Yeah.
And even
I
if they
just
didn't
wanted-
live there, they might be related, and somebody found it when they were cleaning out and just passed it along to family members.
Yeah. I'll see Pat Driscoll now. In the alphabetical listing at the back of the book, they do list a Harvey Ripley.
Oh, there is a Harvey Ripley.
Yeah, but there
Um,
is no date of death. Date of
There's a
death or
Oh, but Harvey Ripley's too old.
oh yeah,
Harvey Ripley, 1842 to 1867. That's only,
it's too young.
yeah. And Eugene Harvey, yeah, they're all too young.
Yeah, he's in grave number 258. I'm just curious as to where grave number 258 is on the plot plan. I don't see any numbers going up that high. Oh, 262. Oh yeah, this 258. 258's on the left-hand side of the main road going in, about 2/3 of the way back. He's next to 259. Kind of a helter-skelter location. 58. Now let's look on 258 and see if there's a.
I did find a Charles Ripley who died during the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Doesn't say where he was from though, but I think he died in Connecticut. I just used the AI to look up his name.
Yeah. Okay, and then when you look in the
he was born around 1732.
Yeah. You look up Harvey Ripley in the back of the book, in grave 258. It says Harvey Ripley, who married a daughter of Seth Wilbur. That's all it says, and there's no inscription on the stone. So another dead end.
So the gravestone said she was the wife of Charles Ripley or Harvey Ripley.
I think it said Charles.
Well, they might be why he's not buried there. If he died in the Revolutionary War, then he would be buried somewhere else. They don't necessarily carted him all the way up here.
Now, but it says on the gravestone, it says Miss Deborah Ripley. The gravestone that's in the ground with all the inscriptions on it.
How do they spell miss?
Well, it's the way they made the S's in back in the colonial times. If they had two S's together, the first S looks like an F. So it's MISS Deborah Ripley. Now it doesn't say who her father was.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I
there's a
think you should go
mystery.
go
Get
backwards with
everything that.
go backwards with where they might have lived.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she wasn't registered anywhere, because if she wasn't married and she had this child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought on the baby's gravestone, it said Charles and Deborah as the parents.
It does.
Well, there goes that theory.
Yeah.
Keep thinking.
Well, somebody had to be the father, but you wouldn't think they'd. No, I think that the baby died. They didn't have a place to put him, and then they got this gravestone, and then it never got placed.
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
But where did they bury the baby? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think they might have buried it on their property, and then they were going to move it. And
Well, I think
Like
being
to find a home for her.
next to Deborah would probably be the most appropriate spot. I'm pretty convinced that was her mom.
Yeah.
How do we set about proving it though to put it there on the gravesite?
well, it says Deborah was married to
Well,
Charles, right? On the gravestone, or no?
No,
yeah,
it's
it
just
says
on the
Deborah was
babies.
married to Charles.
On the babies.
No, but on Deborah's, the older woman. Didn't it say she was
The
married to Charles?
No.
No, that was
And
the
it's-
babies.
I thought you said it did.
No, on the oldest stone. And on the oldest stone, it says Miss Deborah Ripley.
Hmm.
So,
Wait.
hmm. So there is a space next to the other stone. I could put it in the ground up there and then go down to the town clerk's records and put a note in the town clerk's records next to that grave that so if somebody goes looking, they would let's see a note that there was a question there was a problem.
Yep.
And let somebody else dig into it if they so desire. But at least the record of this little girl would be inscribed on the stone next to a possible relative.
It's sad when you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how many children died in their young years. recently watching the series on Thomas Jefferson, and he had a whole bunch of kids that never made it to adulthood. It's amazing. Mortality rate among children.
It was a different
So-
time.
Yep. That's our
Even
mystery
6
for tonight.
I think 61 was considered pretty old back then.
Yeah. So we'll leave it there. And if anything hot comes up at the or if I get a date to go before the council to give our annual report a speech, I'll let you know what I'm going to say. And if you want to come down that night and sit there in the audience, and
I'd
all
love
well
to.
and
I've never been
Yeah.
to a council meeting.
good. Well, it's an experience.
We went once for the veterans, remember, David?
Yeah. Yeah, that was neat that night.
Yeah, that wasn't too painful.
No, that was a very enjoyable experience, as I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff,
I
we
can-
had about 8 banners. I think there might have been our first 8, and I got the vets who the banners belonged to carry them in, and one of the vets was Bob Smith. He served in World War II, and he carried his banner in, and then we asked him to say a word, and he just dropped the banner down, showed his face, and said, "I served," and that was it. He was a man of few words.
You got
That
2
was
words.
yeah,
Effective, though.
yeah. He's since passed, but he was a pretty neat guy. So, okay. So unless somebody's got something else to come up, a question or whatever, sign into that news agency and see what is printed. I'll be looking for it,
Okay.
and you might find some other. I think it gives a place where you check off the towns that you want to hear reports on, and the stories are pretty well written. So, okay. So until next time, everybody have a great holiday. Enjoy your families or whatever with Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Okay.
Good night.
Good night.